The human mind is a powerhouse, but for most folks it's run by something unseen and sneaky, the subconscious. While our conscious mind, the part that's aware and uses just 5% of our mental capacity, keeps tabs on our thoughts and actions, the bulk of our life, about 95%, is driven by the subconscious, operating on autopilot, often without us having any clue or control over its influence. Picture this. As you wake up, get dressed and head to work, you're actually being steered by subconscious programming. This programming's been built up over your whole life, shaped by past experiences, fears, limiting beliefs and habits. You've repeated so many times they've become second nature. So what does this mean for your day-to-day? Every issue you face, from small hiccups to major struggles, is often tied straight to subconscious programs you don't even know you're carrying. These programs come from past experiences, traumas, lessons, family and cultural influences that get stored in your brain and create automatic patterns of thought and behavior. When you start your day, you're already swimming in your past, your memories and emotions. Each of those memories is tied to an emotional charge, and your brain, like an old-school tape player, starts spinning the same tapes every day. These memories, along with the emotions they carry, shape your state of being. And that state, in turn, creates your future, because as long as you keep thinking and feeling the same way, you'll keep building the same kind of life. When you wake up and dwell on a past problem, for example, you might feel anger, sadness, or frustration. By doing this over and over, you end up wiring your brain to link those emotions to everyday situations, reinforcing negative emotional patterns that define your reality. Your past becomes your future, and this loop keeps spinning, often without you noticing. The big hurdle is that while you're stuck in these past memories and emotions, your conscious mind might want to change, might crave health, happiness, or freedom. But the subconscious, which runs 95% of your mind, is working off a totally different script. It's like trying to run a marathon against an Olympic weightlifter, with your 5% conscious mind pushing for change, while your subconscious, way stronger, keeps rolling with old habits and beliefs. This disconnect between the conscious and subconscious mind is why people often can't stick with changes. You might swear you're ready to switch things up, but over time, those old subconscious patterns creep back, and you find yourself repeating the same behaviors and emotions. That's because the subconscious has been conditioned over years, storing habits, reactions, and beliefs, and your body, now hooked on those emotions, reacts automatically, no thinking required. So, how do you flip this? First step is realizing change can't just happen in your conscious mind. You've got to tap into the subconscious, where these programs are stored, and rewire it to reflect the new habits, beliefs, and behaviors you want. To do that, you need to go beyond your conscious state, diving into deeper mind states like through meditation or practices that slow your brain waves, as we'll get into later. When you grasp that most of your life is ruled by a subconscious, running automatic programs, you start seeing the massive power these programs have over you. And by becoming aware of that, you kick off the journey to unlock and reprogram your mind, so your life isn't dictated by the past, but built consciously in the present, crafting a future that vibes with your deepest desires. Think of your mind as an old tape player, spinning the same tape every day. Each morning you wake up, your brain starts replaying the same memories, thoughts, and emotions tied to your past. These daily thoughts aren't just random, they're deeply rooted patterns in your mind, formed by years of experiences, beliefs, and emotional reactions. Every time you think about a memory, you trigger an emotional response linked to it, and this cycle keeps looping, shaping your state of being. When you wake up in the morning, you probably start your day thinking about past problems or situations, and those memories are tied to specific emotions. You might recall an argument, a mistake, or a frustration, and right away your body starts pumping out the same chemicals and emotions tied to that event. The problem is, when you kick off your day with these past thoughts and emotions, you're not just reliving the past, you're unconsciously creating your future. Every thought has the power to shape your destiny, because what you think, you feel, and what you feel sets your emotional and energetic state. These emotional states, in turn, drive your actions and decisions. If you spend most of your time dwelling on negative stuff or past problems, you're creating a negative energy loop that shows up in your reality. You're not just remembering past events, you're replaying them in your mind, keeping your life stuck in the same frequency of emotions and experiences you've already had. This cycle can get so intense that over time, your negative emotions become part of your character. For example, if you start the day angry or frustrated and keep focusing on those feelings, you'll end up known as the grumpy person. That's because your emotions, thoughts, and actions keep creating the same experience over and over. What you think and feel throughout the day builds your destiny, almost on autopilot, like you're trapped in a tape player stuck on repeat with old recordings from the past. When you're caught in this mental and emotional loop, your thoughts start being conscious choices and turn into automatic reactions. Your body, conditioned to these emotional responses, gets hooked on the negative emotions, creating a dependency on a familiar emotional state. Even when you try to change your thoughts or create new realities, your body and mind push back because they're wired to stick with the old patterns. The big challenge is realizing you're not doomed to live by these mental tapes from the past. The good news? You've got the power to break this cycle. The key is becoming aware of how these automatic thoughts and emotions are shaping your reality. By doing that, you can start swapping out the negative thoughts in your mind, shifting the energy and emotions they create. That opens the door to building a new reality, free from the limits and emotional baggage of the past. To break this mental tape, you need a shift in focus and intention. When you take control of your thoughts and start imagining new possibilities, your feelings shift too, and your reality begins to align with these new choices. It takes effort and practice, but by learning to catch your automatic reactions and make intentional choices, you start crafting a different future, one with new experiences and emotions. You're no longer a hostage to your autopilot mind, but an active creator of your life. Your daily routine is one of the biggest roadblocks to change, but it's also one of your greatest sources of power. When you wake up each morning, your mind and body automatically slide into a set of pre-programmed behaviors and habits, many of which you don't even notice you're repeating. That's because your subconscious operates based on what you've done over and over again. If you're real with yourself, you'll see most of your day is driven by automatic behaviors you repeat without questioning. These invisible habits end up steering the course of your life, often without you fully clocking them. Take something simple like getting out of bed on the same side, eating the same breakfast, driving the same route to work, and dealing with the same people. It might seem harmless, but it's all part of a subconscious program running your behavior on autopilot. These habits aren't conscious choices, they're patterns you've built through repetition over time. The issue is, living this way, you lose grip on your free will and become a prisoner of automatic programming mostly shaped by your past. Your routine works like a computer program. Every time you repeat something, you reinforce those mental and emotional patterns until they're so familiar your body starts acting on them instinctively. That means, instead of actively running your life, you're being guided by past programs, often without realizing it. Your brain's got an energy-saving mode, and it prefers sticking to familiar, comfy patterns over stepping out of its comfort zone into the unknown. That's why, even when you want change, your body and mind unconsciously cling to the past's familiarity. This behavior gets a boost from your brain's chemistry. When you keep repeating an action or emotion, your brain releases chemicals that make you feel safe and comfortable, even if those emotions are negative. For example, if you're used to getting mad or anxious in certain situations, your brain pumps out chemicals like adrenaline and cortisol tied to those feelings. This creates a vicious cycle where you're drawn to keep repeating those reactions because deep down your body's conditioned to feel good with what's familiar, even if it means staying stuck in negative patterns. The key to shaking this up is breaking the routine. When you decide to switch your habits, you're basically choosing to dismantle a subconscious program already installed in your mind and body. That takes conscious effort to act differently every day, with a fresh intention to do things in a new way. But it's not just about surface-level changes. To truly transform your life, you need to build new habits that align your mind and body with the outcomes you want. Practices like meditation and mindfulness can be a starting point. They help you get more aware of what's happening in the moment, giving you the power to interrupt the chain of automatic reactions and create new neural pathways. By switching up your routine, you start forming new brain patterns that align with your goals and desires, and over time, that begins to shape your life more intentionally. Changing your routine is changing your life. When you start rewiring automatic habits, your body responds to new energies and emotions, and your mind begins to ditch the old tapes, creating new patterns that vibe with the version of yourself you want to become. With steady practice, these new habits become as automatic as the old ones, and you start seeing real, lasting changes in your reality. When it comes to lasting change, the biggest battle isn't with external circumstances or situations around you, it's inside you. The fight's between your conscious mind, the part of you with desires and intentions, and your subconscious mind, where automatic habits, emotions, and behavior patterns are stored. This internal tug-of-war is what makes change so tough for a lot of people, even when they're dead set on improving or shaking up their life. Your conscious mind handles just 5% of your mental capacity, while the subconscious, running 95% of the show, operates on past patterns, deep-rooted beliefs, and familiar emotions. Picture your conscious mind as the captain of a ship trying to change course, while your subconscious is the engine already revved up and running on autopilot. Even though the captain, conscious mind, wants to steer a new path, the engine, subconscious, is so locked into its routine that quick changes are nearly impossible. That's because the subconscious is insanely strong and naturally resists change. It prefers sticking with known comfy patterns, even if those patterns are tied to negative habits or behaviors. The subconscious resists for a simple reason: your body and mind are wired for familiarity. To the subconscious, familiar equals safe, and anything outside that comfort zone feels like a threat. This is part of our primal programming, built over thousands of years to keep us safe from danger. But while that protection was clutched back, then it's a roadblock now when you're trying to break limiting patterns and hit new goals. That's why when you try to change, those old emotions and behaviors come roaring back, fighting the new. When you decide to change, say, kick off a new routine, eat healthier, or stay more positive, you run smack into internal resistance from your body and mind. Your body's hooked on negative emotions, and when you try to adopt a new behavior or emotional state, it yanks you back toward what's familiar. This can spark discomfort like anxiety, frustration, or even physical exhaustion, because your body's being pushed to go against the energy it's used to churning out. Those emotions are like echoes of old memories, habits, and patterns stashed in your subconscious. The trick to beating this resistance is reprogramming your subconscious mind. Your conscious mind, while powerful, has limited juice for change, without the subconscious backing it up. For lasting change to stick, your mind needs to be rewired. You can do this through practices like meditation, visualization, and affirmations, which help quiet your conscious mind and carve new neural pathways in the subconscious. These methods let you swap out old programming for fresh, positive patterns, making behavioral changes feel more natural and long-term. The key here is, you're not sunk if change doesn't happen right away. Real transformation takes time and steady practice. When you keep acting on your new intention, even when old resistance pops up, you start building a new reality. The secret's in sticking with it, creating a new comfort zone with the positive behaviors and feelings you want to weave into your life. Most importantly, don't give in to fear or resistance. Keep moving forward with a clear intent to change, knowing repetition is the key to true transformation. Over time, your subconscious will start rolling with the new patterns and emotions as part of your new reality, and what once felt tough or uncomfortable becomes second nature. Your body and mind team up to create a new future aligned with your deepest desires. Meditation, often tied to calm and rest, is actually one of the most badass tools for reprogramming your mind and reshaping the reality you live in. When you slip into a meditative state, you're not just chilling, you're slowing your brain waves and tapping into deeper layers of your subconscious, where automatic behavior patterns, habits, and beliefs are stored. This process lets you hit a state of awareness where you can rewire limiting beliefs and past emotions that are running your life. The key to change is accessing your mind's operating system. Your analytical mind, working at the conscious level, is always judging and breaking down the world around you. But what separates the conscious from the subconscious is the filter of the analytical mind. And that's why meditation is such a game changer. In a deep meditative state, you can bypass that analytical filter and get straight to the subconscious, where beliefs and emotions can be reshaped. When you hit that deep calm, your brain waves slow down, letting you tap into a higher frequency of thought that makes it easier to reprogram the automatic patterns steering your life. Meditation doesn't just get you into this state, it also gives you some distance from your body's automatic reactions. When you meditate regularly, you learn to hush your conscious mind, dialing back negative emotions and impulsive thoughts, and creating room for new behaviors and emotional responses. Meditating is like training your mind and body to unplug from knee-jerk reactions and sync up with a fuller, more intentional version of yourself. The longer you hold that meditative state, the more you're building new neural pathways to replace the old ones, and change starts happening naturally. But meditation isn't just about kicking back. In a deep meditative state, you get to explore the unknown. That unknown is where real creation happens, because it's in that empty space that you can start visualizing and feeling the reality you want to build. When you close your eyes and picture a future that hasn't happened yet, your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. By doing this, you're mentally installing the programs needed to create the life you want. Meditation, then, isn't just a way to calm your mind, it's a tool for shaping your future, crafting a new reality from the space where anything's possible. With regular meditation, you also start slowing down emotional reactivity. Instead of snapping back at daily situations on autopilot, you begin responding more consciously and intentionally. That's because by stepping back from your body and mind's automatic reactions, you gain a clearer view of your choices, emotions, and behavior patterns. This clarity is crucial for making lasting changes. Meditation, in short, isn't just stress relief. It's a heavy-hitting practice for freeing your mind from past programming and building a reality that matches your deepest desires. Meditation also helps clear the energetic path between your mind and body. Negative emotions and past habits often get stuck in your body, creating energy blocks that stop new experiences from flowing. Meditation releases these pent-up energies, letting you align with the present and future, instead of being dragged back by past baggage. When your body and mind are in sync and harmony, transformation becomes natural and sticks. The biggest roadblock to real change in our lives is our tie to the past. The memories we carry, emotional experiences, and unresolved traumas can totally shape how we see the present and future. The past isn't just something that happened, it's an active part of our emotions, beliefs, and daily behaviors. When you keep reliving past experiences, you're letting the past control your present and future, not realizing you're stuck in a loop of memories and automatic reactions that keep you stagnant, blocking your true growth. The key to real transformation is breaking free from the emotional prison of the past. That doesn't mean forgetting or denying what happened. It means letting go of the negative emotions tied to those memories so they don't run your actions and feelings anymore. If you keep clinging to past mistakes, pain, or frustrations, you're mentally and emotionally replaying those experiences. This creates a vicious cycle where your actions are driven by fears and limits from what's already happened, and you end up attracting more of the same into your life. The past becomes a program that keeps running on repeat. So, how do you let go of the past and create a new future? First step is clocking how the past still sways your choices. Notice how your emotional reactions are often tied to experiences you've already had. For example, if you're scared of rejection, you might trace that fear back to past moments of abandonment or criticism. That fear can turn into a repeating pattern, stopping you from jumping at new opportunities. But by spotting these patterns, you start dismantling them, realizing the reactions you're having now aren't useful anymore and don't match your current situation. Letting go of the past also means dropping your attachment to old identities you've built. A lot of times we're defined by the stories we tell ourselves, like, I'm an anxious person, I'm not good enough, or I don't deserve success. These past narratives block us from seeing our true potential because we identify with those old stories instead of seeing ourselves as constantly evolving. When you challenge these beliefs and swap them for more empowering, positive stories, you start crafting a new identity that reflects the future you want to build. Forgiveness is also huge for breaking the emotional tie to the past. Forgiving doesn't mean forgetting what happened or excusing others' actions. It's about freeing yourself from the emotional weight those past experiences still carry. Forgiveness cuts you loose from resentment and anger, freeing up energy that was being eaten up by the past. By doing this, you make room for a new future unburdened by the limits of old experiences. One solid technique for dismantling the past is visualizing a new version of yourself, someone free from past limits. Meditation can help create this new mental image, where you see yourself as a person not defined by what happened, but guided by a clear, positive vision of what you want to achieve. Keeping up this visualization rewires your mental and emotional patterns, and over time it transforms your old identity into a new way of being, aligned with your true potential. Ultimately, the present moment is the key to freedom. When you focus on the now instead of living in the past, you open the door to new possibilities for the future, unshackled by the limits you are carrying. True transformation happens when you consciously choose to live in the present, acting like the person you want to be instead of reacting like the person you were. This shift in focus doesn't just free the past, it clears the way for a new reality, where you're the one calling the shots on your destiny. To create a new future, you've got to start identifying with the version of yourself you want to be, not the person shaped by past patterns. That means real transformation kicks off when you craft a new identity, one that vibes with the goals and dreams you want to chase. But building this new identity isn't just about thinking about who you want to be. You've got to feel and live like that person already, pulling the emotions and behaviors of your future self into the present. First thing to get is that your identity isn't set in stone. It's flexible and moldable. You're not just the product of your history or experiences. You've got the power to recreate your identity the moment you decide who you want to become. If you want to be more confident, successful, or positive, the change starts with choosing to act and think like that person. The trick is getting your mind and body to operate as if you're already living that new reality, instead of waiting for it to happen before you feel different. One of the keys to crafting this new you is feeling the emotions of your desired future right now. Wallace Wattles teaches that to create the life you want, you've got to live like you've already nailed your goals. Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. So, when you feel the rush of victory, success, or joy in your body right now, you're sending a signal to your subconscious that this is the reality you want to create. When you start living that emotion in the present, your mind and body begin acting in line with that new vibe, forming fresh neural connections and paving the way for those changes to come to life naturally. Picture the person you want to be, then live like that's already you. If the version of yourself you're aiming for is more confident, start acting like it. Stand taller, speak clearer, make bold, quick decisions. By taking on these behaviors and attitudes, you're not just acting, you're feeling like that. New identity. When you vibe at the emotional frequency of this new you, you're creating a deep alignment between your conscious and subconscious, making that new person's actions and behaviors second nature. Shaping your identity also means ditching the limiting beliefs tying you to the past. These beliefs, often picked up from outside influences or rough experiences, don't reflect who you are or who you can become. The key to breaking free is replacing them with affirmations and thoughts that match the person you want to be. It's not an overnight fix, but by repeating these new thoughts and behaviors, you start rewiring your subconscious, building a new belief system that backs your new identity. For example, if you want to be financially loaded, start acting and thinking like someone who's already got it made. Feel grateful for the money you have, even if it's just a little, and picture yourself handling big bucks smoothly and naturally. When you tap into those feelings of abundance and confidence, you're setting a new emotional frequency that pulls more prosperity your way. The universe vibes with your energy, and the more you live this new reality, the more you align with the opportunities it brings. Another big move for crafting this new identity is visualization. Close your eyes and see yourself living your dream life, feeling the emotions and behaviors of that version of you. Imagine yourself in the future like you've already crushed your goals, and let yourself soak in the joy, success, and satisfaction that comes with it. This isn't just daydreaming. It's a deep subconscious reprogram where your mind starts accepting the new identity and building neural pathways to make that reality happen. Finally, remember that creating a new identity is an ongoing, evolving process. It's not a quick or shallow change, but a gradual transformation where you keep aligning more and more with the person you want to become. Consistently feeling the emotions of your desired future, visualizing your new identity, and taking actions that match that person will over time create a new pattern of thinking and behavior that reshapes your reality. You're the one shaping your own identity, and by consciously crafting it, you start building the future you've always wanted. Your body is, hands down, one of the greatest allies in your personal transformation journey. But it can also be a major roadblock, especially when you're trying to shift old behavior and thought patterns. Wallace Wattles talks about how the body and mind are tightly linked, with the body often acting as a direct mirror of your subconscious emotions and beliefs. That means while your conscious mind is gunning for change, your body, used to old patterns and emotions, can put up a fight. Your body, like a biological machine, is deeply conditioned by the emotional experiences you've had over your life. Every time you feel an emotion, your body reacts with chemicals and physical processes. For instance, when you're anxious or stressed, your body pumps out adrenaline and cortisol, prepping you for fight or flight. On the flip side, when you feel positive emotions like joy or gratitude, it releases endorphins and dopamine, giving you that feel-good buzz. But when you're stuck in negative emotional patterns and automatic reactions, your body gets used to those states, creating a resistance cycle that makes change tougher. This happens because deep down, your body gets hooked on the emotions you feel all the time. If you're constantly angry, sad, or anxious, your body adapts to those emotional states and starts reacting to them on autopilot. This conditioning means that even when you decide to change and aim for a more positive life, your body feels uneasy with the new emotions and tries to slide back to its old familiar state. In other words, your body resists transformation because it's more comfortable with what's old and known, even if it's not doing you any favors. The key to real change is teaming up with your body instead of battling it. True transformation happens when you start aligning your emotions and thoughts with what you want to create. To do that, you need to understand the process of letting go of old emotions and start building new emotional connections to the experiences you want to have. This means training your body to respond differently to situations. For example, if you're used to stressing out in certain scenarios, you need to consciously shift how your body reacts. Deep breathing, meditation, or even physical exercise can help release built-up emotional tension. Physical resistance also shows up in your body's habits. When you start changing, your body, used to its routine, might hit you with fatigue or discomfort. That's normal. It's being pushed to adapt to a new way of being. But you've got to be patient and keep at it, because just like your mind, your body needs time to adjust. You're training it to respond differently, creating new neural connections and physical experiences that support the transformation you're chasing. Workouts, yoga, or stretching, for instance, are clutch here, helping release stored tension and align your body with new emotions and mental states. Your body's resistance can also be tackled mentally. When you feel physically or emotionally challenged, use positive affirmations or creative visualization to program your body to push through. Picture your body getting stronger, more flexible, and healthier as you move forward on your transformation journey. When you visualize these changes, you're sending positive signals to your subconscious, which starts vibing with the new behavior patterns you want to create. Your body also mirrors your mind. If you keep feeling past emotions like anger or fear, your body starts showing it physically. Think muscle tension, chronic pain, or even illness. By letting go of those old emotions, you're not just transforming your mind, but your physical health too. When your mind and body are balanced and in sync, you feel lighter, more energized, and ready to make deep changes. So your body isn't just a hurdle, it's a powerful partner in your transformation journey. By understanding the mind-body connection, you can work with your body to release emotional resistance and create new physical responses that support the life you want to build. The more you bring your body into your transformation practice, the faster you'll see results, both emotionally and physically. Most of who you are today was shaped by the old emotions and habits you've piled up over the years. These patterns, while cozy and familiar, don't define who you really are or who you could become. To create a new reality and identity, you've got to let go of the old you. Ditch the past emotions and habits that keep you stuck in a repetitive cycle of limiting patterns. But this isn't easy because it means letting go of everything you know, even if it's holding you back or causing pain. The first step to breaking free from the old you is realizing how you're tied to the past. A lot of times we start defining ourselves by the negative emotions we've felt: fear, anger, sadness, or shame. These emotions get stored in our memory and become part of our identity. You might catch yourself thinking, "I'm just an anxious person," or "I'll never make it big because I flopped before." These limiting beliefs become part of your daily behavior, trapping you in an emotional prison you feel you can't escape. These past emotions and patterns are like invisible handcuffs, keeping you locked in a repetitive cycle. Your brain, as we've seen, loves familiarity, so it gets hooked on the emotional vibes you feel every day. Even if those emotions aren't great, your body gets used to them, and that creates resistance to change. When you try to break these emotional patterns, your body fights back, craving the familiar state where everything felt under control. But the truth is, change means letting go of past emotions and allowing yourself to feel new ones, aligned with the future you want to create. The secret to this is learning to let go of emotional attachment. That doesn't mean denying or bottling up your emotions. It means recognizing they don't have to define your reality anymore. Forgiveness, both of yourself and others, is a heavy-hitting tool here. Forgiving isn't about excusing what happened, it's about cutting loose the negative energy those emotions bring into your life. By doing this, you start seeing you're not a victim of your circumstances, but the one shaping your reality. Another big part of letting go is breaking old habits. Habits are automatic routines your subconscious has built over time, and they have a huge grip on your behavior. When you try to change a habit, your body resists because it's wired to act a certain way. But just like emotions, habits can be rewired. Consistently repeating new behaviors is the key to swapping out old habits for healthier ones that vibe with the future you want to create. Building new habits starts with a clear intention and steady practice until the new behaviors become as automatic as the old ones. Letting go of the old you also means crafting a new story about who you are. You're not that person who flopped, who was scared, or who got hurt anymore. You're someone who's always evolving, able to learn, grow, and transform. Visualization paired with positive affirmations can be a killer way to reinvent your identity. Picture yourself living the life you want, feeling the vibes of success, freedom, and joy. By tapping into those emotions now, you start wiring your subconscious to align with the future you're chasing. This letting go process isn't a walk in the park. It takes patience, grit, and the guts to ditch what's not serving you anymore. But letting go is the key to real freedom. When you shake off the weight of the past and old patterns, you make room for new experiences, new emotions, and most importantly, a new version of yourself. You're not chained to what was, you're locked in with what's coming, and that's what gives you the real juice to create the future you want. True transformation happens when you get that your outer reality is a straight-up reflection of your inner world. Everything you see and deal with out there was, in a big way, shaped by your mind's programming. That includes your habits, beliefs, daily thoughts, and the emotions you're feeling. If you want to switch up your life, you've got to start rewiring your mind to churn out the results you actually want, instead of being held hostage by limiting habits and beliefs from the past. Your mind, especially the subconscious, is crazy powerful, but it's often not vibing with what you truly want. As we've covered before, The subconscious runs 95% of your life, operating off past experiences and patterns. That means if you're constantly feeling frustrated, stuck, or down, it's because those old patterns are still steering your choices and emotions. The good news? You can change that. Rewiring your mind starts with shifting how you think, feel, and act every single day. First step to flipping your reality is clocking the power of your thoughts. Every thought you have is like a seed you're planting in your mind. If you're always dwelling on limits, fears, or failures, those seeds grow and sprout more negative experiences in your life. But if you start thinking positive, picturing your success and feeling good emotions, you're planting seeds that'll grow a new reality, one that mirrors your real desires and ambitions. It takes practice and patience, but the shift starts at the thought level. For this change to stick, it's not enough to just think positive. You've got to feel the emotions of the future you want right now. The key to rewiring your mind is experiencing your desired reality in the present. When you imagine or visualize your dream future, your brain can't tell what's real from what's imagined. By feeling emotions like gratitude, happiness, and confidence, you're actively building a new reality. Those positive emotions create new neural pathways and link good vibes to your goals, helping you pull those experiences into your life. Plus, consistent action is clutch for locking in change. Rewiring your mind isn't just about thinking and feeling different. It's about acting in line with the new reality you're building. If you want to be healthier, start acting like a healthy person now, making daily choices that match your new identity. Action's the engine that drives change from your mind to reality. When you take steady steps toward your goals, your subconscious starts syncing up with those new actions and beliefs, making the changes feel automatic and natural. Another heavy hitter for transforming your reality is repetition. The more you practice positive thoughts, emotions tied to your desired future, and consistent actions, the more these new programs become second nature. This creates a positive feedback loop where your new thoughts and feelings spark new actions, and those actions shape a reality that vibes with your new identity. The trick is not bailing when old patterns try to creep back. Repetition builds new habits and neural pathways, and over time, what used to be tough becomes your new normal. Finally, don't forget you're not stuck with what was. The power of rewiring your mind is that it lets you create a new reality based on what's possible, not what's already happened. Your mind's an incredible tool capable of crafting any reality you want, as long as you're ready to challenge old habits and build new beliefs and behaviors. True transformation happens when you align with the best version of yourself, when you start acting, thinking, and feeling like the person you want to be, and when you finally create a reality that reflects that new you. The key to changing your life is inside you. By shifting your thoughts, emotions, and actions, you create a new reality that lines up with your dreams and desires. You've got the power to rewire your mind, and by doing that, you start transforming your life, building a future full of success, abundance, and happiness. The journey to transformation starts now with the choice to take control of your mind and use that power to create the life you deserve.